Okay, today I will introduce you to a new IDE, Spider IED. Okay, so up to now we use Repil.com and their IDE. It's very nice because it's user friendly and you get to work in the lab, and then you can go back and work in the home using the online IDE. So here, this Spider one, I will show you how to load it in the lab. Reason to switch IDEs at this point is because for the exam I cannot give you online one, so we'll be using Spider IDE. Okay, so you need to get a use for that environment. Don't panic, it's very similar to what you did with using the Repil one. Okay, it's just look different, but all the commands and syntax are the same, so the look and feel is little different. Okay, so for this one, if you are doing it in home, you have to install it in your laptop, Python and the browser. I will show you how to do that in the lab also I will show you how to access the Spider browser is already installed in the lab. Okay, so if you are using lab computer, you don't have to install anything, but if you are using home computer or a laptop, you will have to install it. Okay, we'll show it in the lab how to install it. Okay, so once you install and after you load it, okay, it's look like this. You have 1 2 3 4 5 6 panels. So okay, so this is the panel where you type your programs, okay, like you did in Repil. So same syntax, no different, but you type the program here now. Okay, but you type it in the same syntax don't change from IDE to IDE, so you can use the same syntax. Okay, then this is the interactive mode of the Python. So if you type a command here, you can run by command. Also it will show you the output. For example, if I do type 33 here, it will return here int. See, it returns the output and shows the output. Okay, but if you do it in the program, if you recall, it will not show any output unless I use the print command. For example, if I do type 33 and execute it using, I can execute it using this run button. Okay, this is the run button. Okay, let me look at run button. Okay, so you can use this one we run it in the debug mode. Okay, we can run it using this one, so it will not print anything. But if I put the print command here, print function here also, then it will print. Okay, okay, there is an error, I think. Let me look at print type 33. Let me look at what is there. Okay, it's debugging, no errors. Okay, let me run it using this one, execution. So here you can see it's give the output now. Okay, but if I remove the print function, it will not show any output. Okay, and if I run it here, it will not show any output. See, okay, so that is the difference between the interactive mode and the browser. So whatever the command you type here, you can see the output. Other than that, here is the variable space. It will show you all the variables you create. See, here I created the variable a equals 4, so you can see that variable here, a is 4. Okay, its type and the size. And here you see the history of commands. Okay, see, I run type 33, a equals 4, so you can see those two commands. These are the previous commands I ran. Okay, so here you can see a history of the command. Okay, here you can see the files in the current working directory. Okay, this little look similar to MATLAB environment. If you have worked in MATLAB before, this is written to replace the MATLAB environment. So you can use either this one or Rapid IDE from now on for your homework problems, but I recommend using this because this is what you will have to work in exams. Okay, so you have to get used to this one. Okay, so I will show you doing the leap year program. In this one, just to get used, so you can get used to it, I will show you how to run a program here. So first I will do the leap year program. Okay, so first let us understand what is a leap year. Okay, I will show you a BBC video about leap year, so you will understand how a leap year is defined. Okay, so this video gives a good definition of leap year, so I will play it. Okay, you can watch it.
2020 is a leap year. That means there's an extra day in the calendar, the 29th of February. But why do we have leap years? And how do we decide when to have them? The answer is a little more complicated than you may think, so here's how it works. We measure a day as how long it takes the Earth to spin once on its own axis. That's 24 hours. And we measure a calendar year as how long it takes the Earth to orbit the Sun, 365 days. Except the time it actually takes for the Earth to circle the Sun is 365.24 days. So that's roughly a quarter of a day longer, which adds up to a full day every 4 years. To keep everything in sync, this full day is added to the fourth year's shortest month, February, and that's what we call a leap year. But we don't actually have a leap year every 4 years, and here's why. Remember how we rounded up that 0.24 to a quarter? Well, that difference does eventually add up, pushing the whole system out of sync again by 3 days out of every 400 years, to be precise. In order to redress this slight imbalance, we have to skip a leap year every now and then, so not add that extra day. But how do we decide when to have a leap year and when to skip? The first rule is that the year to add an extra day must be divisible by 4. The second rule is that a leap year cannot fall on a year that's divisible by 100. If it does, no leap day is added to that calendar year. But to make things even more complicated, there's an exception to this second rule. If a leap year can be divided by 400, the leap day is added after all. That's why a leap day happened in the year 1600 and 2000, but not in 1700, 1800, or 1900. We have Pope Gregory XIII to thank for creating this century rule some 400 years ago. His changes marked the beginning of the Gregorian calendar, which is still in use across the world today. So, leap years exist to help us stay in sync with the real astronomical year. And if you want to get real nerdy, there's also the more recent introduction of leap seconds, but maybe we'll explain that another year.
So this is the flow chart for a leap year according to that description. So if year is evenly divisible by 4, answer is not, then it's not a year, leap year. Okay, so if it is divisible by 4, we have to check. If it is divisible by 4, we have to check whether it's evenly divisible by 100. Okay, so if the answer is no, then it's a leap year, and if it's divisible by 100, then it's not a leap year. Furthermore, if it's evenly divisible by 400, then it's not a leap year, otherwise it is a leap year. Okay, so this is the flow chart for a leap year. Okay, so we will implement this logic in a program. Now we will use Spider browser. Okay, browser. So here, better to save it when you start. So go to save as. You can choose the folder you want to save it. Remember which folder you save the program, so you can later access it. Okay, so I will say leap, and then you have to have dot exception extension py. Okay, it automatically comes, so if you accidentally delete it, you can add it. Okay, so I will save it here. Remember the file you save it so you can access it later. Okay, so here first we have to ask for enter the year, no, because we need what year we need to check. Okay, so I will yeah. Okay, so here I am getting what is the year. Okay, now according to the logic, let me, okay, if this is divisible by 4, if it's not divisible by 4, it's not a leap year. Okay, so here I have to check. Now if condition, divisible by 4. Okay, so here I will use the remainder operation. If it's divisible by 4, remainder is 0, no? So this is 2, that means if remainder is equal to 0, else, now if it's else, if remainder is equal to 0, divisible by 4, no? So in this case we have to check another if. Okay, so in the case of divisible by 4, I have to check if it is divisible by 100. Okay, if it's divisible by 4, I am checking it is divisible by 100. If here divisible by 100. Okay, so this case I say equal to 0. Okay, so if it is divisible by 100, it's not a leap year. Okay, and here I say print okay, if it's divisible by 100, it's not a leap year. And here I have else, so here I will do else. Again this dot thing, print is a leap year. Okay, then this is the if and the else part of this. Okay, this not a leap year, I have to check more. No, sorry, I forgot. If it's not divisible by 100, it's a leap year. So if it's not divisible by 100, it's a leap year. But if divisible by 100, we have to check another one before saying it's not a leap year. Sorry. Okay, here I have to further check if year divisible divisible by 400, okay, equal to 0. So in this case, if it's divisible by 400, answer is yes, it's a leap year. Okay, so in this case it's a leap year. My keyboard is not working, sorry. Leap year, okay, and if it's not divisible by 400, then it's not a leap year. Else here okay, so we implemented that logic here, but here you have to implement the else part of this. Okay, if it's not divisible by 4, it's not a leap year, so that else I have to write here in the same level. Okay, okay, so now let's run this and test for some input. Okay, so let's run this for some inputs and test. Okay, so first I will check for 2000. Okay, let's run this. Okay, so let's run this and see. Okay, let's run this and see. Let me run it. It's not running. So let me see, I haven't used this before. Let me run it like this. Okay, let's use this run one. Okay, sorry, this is the run button. Okay, this is what you have to use. Okay, here I forgot to turn it into int. What is it saying? Okay, here I think I forgot to turn it into, okay, so here I'll do int. It's very important to turn this into an integer or a float. Okay, so let's enter full type thing, so I will convert into int. So run, this is the run button. Okay, sorry, I forgot. So run here, let's say here I use the print function instead of input function, sorry. Okay, input function. Now here this is the run button, sorry, okay, this is not the run button, this is the run button. So here you can say it says enter the year. Okay, so let's try 2000. So 2000 is a leap year, that is correct. Okay, now let's try 2400. Okay, out should give us whether it's a leap or not. Let me try again. Okay, yeah, I enter it without running, no? 2400. It's a leap year. Okay, so that is correct. So we can try another year. This keyboard is let me run it again. Okay, not a leap. Okay, so you can check this one by checking with other years. Okay, so this is how you will run a program and make sure to save it after before closing. Okay, because it might not automatically save, so go ahead and save it. Okay, this is already saved, so I don't want to do the saving, so it's already saved. Okay, make sure you save it. Okay, and also let me look at preferences here. I think I have selected the dark mode, that's why it's dark. See, spider dark. Okay, there are different modes. Normally I prefer dark mode because it's easier to look at if you are programming for a long time. Okay, I selected the dark mode, that's why it's look darker. So here you can select the dark mode if you like. Okay, so I like the dark mode, so I selected the dark mode. Okay, so you can select the dark mode. Okay, this icon theme you can select by the browser type. Okay, thing, and then the size of the text, if it's too small you can increase the size here. Okay, I'll apply this, and okay, so I will talk about these button later. I haven't used them, so they are important when you are debugging. Okay, if you are writing complicated programs, this debug mode and these things are important. Okay, I haven't used them still, I will go over them later. To run it, use this button. Okay, to run the program, use this button. Previously I used the wrong button. Okay, so hope this is clear. If you have any questions you can ask me. Okay, I think this type I should increase the size. Okay, let's say I will increase the size. Where was that? Tools, preferences,